First up, the U.S. president is in Japan as part of a 5-day trip aimed at strengthening American relations in East Asia. Joe Biden has met with the country's Emperor Naruhito and is meeting Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. For more, we're joined by Phoebe Amoroso in Tokyo. So, Phoebe, what can you tell us about the meeting so far and upcoming events?
Biden started the day meeting the emperor, their first meeting since 2013, and then met with Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. We're still waiting to hear the full outcome of that meeting. Talks are ongoing. But just in some comments before the two sat down for the summit, Biden described Kishida as a good friend and really said that the US-Japan alliance is the cornerstone of peace in the Indo-Pacific region, and that the US is fully committed to Japan's defense. And indeed, defense is top on the agenda. They're expected to discuss ways to boost response and deterrence between the two countries. And this very much is focused on concerns over China and China's influence. Biden has also praised Japan's response to the Russia-Ukraine crisis, and saying that it's been upholding democratic values. So the two are expected to discuss ways to further their cooperation on that. But another important item on the agenda is economic security and the launch of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Well, Biden said that this will bring very concrete benefits to the region. And Japan has said that it will join up, it views it very positively. But equally, Japan is still wanting to petition the US on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a free trade pact that the US walked away from in 2017. And other trade experts have also expressed some doubts over this framework, saying that it lacks details and scope. But this is not the only meeting on the agenda. Next up, there will be the Quad Summit on Tuesday between the US, Japan, Australia and India. And this is expected that leaders will be discussing ways to collaborate and further their alliance and really define the direction of the alliance.
Thank you for the update, Phoebe Amoroso in Tokyo. Nearly 750 protesters have taken to the streets in Tokyo demonstrating against a US-Japan summit and meeting of the Quad group, which includes Australia, India, Japan and the United States. Protesters held banners reading "Oppose the Quad" and the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, while others wore vests saying "Oppose wars."
I
oppose Biden's visit to Japan. I think it will bring about a new crisis to Asia. I think the US-Japan alliance aims to dominate Asia by military operations. Now the alliance is planning to gradually involve Japan and its self-defense force into wars.
I think the Quad mechanism is very dangerous, and I think the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework is also dangerous as it will do harm to Japan. I don't want the US and Japan to hold a top leaders meeting.
And China criticizes the US Indo-Pacific strategy, saying it aims to besiege China. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi says the strategy has alarmed countries in the region. Wang made the remarks after meeting with Pakistani Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari in the southern Chinese city of Guangzhou.
Reality will show that the so-called Indo-Pacific strategy is essentially a strategy to create division and confrontation, destroying peace. No matter how it is packaged or disguised, it will inevitably fail in the end. People in this region are telling the US that the outdated Cold War playbook should not be repeated in Asia, and turmoil and wars that are taking place in the world must not be tolerated in this region.
Wang Yi also said the U.S. initiative called the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework is questionable. He said any initiative for regional cooperation should promote free trade and refrain from disguised protectionism. Such initiatives should contribute to world economic recovery, not undermine the stability of the industrial chain, and they should promote openness and cooperation and not create geopolitical confrontation. To discuss this, we're joined by Rong Ying. He's the Vice President of the China Institute of International Studies. He's joining us via Skype. So, Mr. Rong, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said the White House's Indo-Pacific strategy will inevitably fail in the end. What's your take on this?
Well, I think State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi's statement
clearly demonstrate first and foremost, of course, China's positions, which is opposing the idea of this strategy. But more importantly, I think it also demonstrates the damages and possible consequences that would be brought about to the region. After all, the region that we are living, Asia Pacific, has been enjoy unprecedented peace, stability, and prosperity over the past decades. And what the region need most is, of course, continued peace and stability and prosperity. That would not be possible if one major country or superpower like the United States, for the sake of maintaining its own hegemony and to sort of suppress and contain China, create a kind of a strategy, or by provoking, creating division, confrontation, and even conflict and war, that I think the consequences and the damages and the destruction that we've been seeing in other parts of the region. And that's why I think the countries in the region, big and small, are very much wary about that. Express their apprehension and opposition and to that. That's why I think for China, I think the region as a whole would like to say that this strategy is not going to succeed. Rather, it will be more trouble to the region.